Morning, people. I'm gonna try to do this really fast. The whole idea of this video is to make it fast. If you notice, I already wrote a lot of stuff in here, but I hope you understand it. So the first thing that we're gonna check today is adverbs. That's right. We're gonna be focusing on their position. Now, you already know adverbs. We know that adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and sometimes another adverb. All right. So we use adverbs to modify verbs, adjectives, sometimes other adverbs. Now, what type of adverbs do we have? We have comment adverbs, right? These are usually made at the beginning of the sentence. We can say, for example, actually, incredibly, obviously, right? We also have manner, meaning how we do things, all right? If we do them slowly, fast, quietly, carefully, truly, etc. We also have degrees, right? When we say very, or we say extremely, or we say amazingly, or we say incredibly, that's what we mean by degree. Frequency, we use these at the beginning of learning English. Most of the teachers teach this. These are the ones that we say, these are the ones that we use to say something that we do frequently, or always, or never, or sometimes, etc. Right? You know these. Okay, so adverbs, their positions. What happens if you put an adverb at the beginning of the sentence? Well, if you do that, you're using a comment adverb. And you're saying actually, incredibly, obviously. The book has 6 of them. I recommend you check them. Right? And basically what it says is that if you use one of these in the beginning of the sentence, you're changing the meaning of the sentence. For example, if I say, it is on Monday, right? Well, if you just say that without trying to if you just say it and somebody says, oh, it's on Tuesday. No, it's on Monday. Well, you can say that and obviously they're going to understand you, but you want to be polite, you want to be formal, you want to have advanced English. You want to say actually in the beginning of the sentence and say, actually, it's on Friday, homie, right? So you want to correct something. Or incredibly, you don't know what you're saying, right? Or obviously, you didn't pass math class, etc. Right? So depending on what you say in the beginning of the sentence, depending on the adverb, well, that's the meaning of the sentence. Okay. Now, and that's the only one that we use usually in the beginning of the sentence. Common ones. We don't use degrees. We don't say a lot. A lot of. Well, let's use a manner one. Slowly walking into the store, I approached the clerk to buy some nachos. Maybe you use it in a story when you're like writing a story, and that's really good. But usually in spoken and written language, common language, we use common adverbs in the beginning of the sentence. All right. What happens when you put adverbs in the middle of the sentence? Well, a lot happens, ladies and gentlemen. We can use different types of adverbs. You know, we said 1, 2, 3, 4. In the middle of the sentence, we can use all 4 of them, okay? In this case, we're going to check degree right now, and then we're going to check manner, frequency, right? And adverbs of degree. Oh, I said them in the beginning, yeah. Okay, so let's start with adverbs of degree, okay? So when we say adverbs of degree, we refer to extremely, like very. What's another one that you can think of? A lot? No, a lot, it's a tricky one, okay? But it is an adverb, but we'll see in a moment. So extremely, very. The book uses amazingly and incredibly, okay? Now, these adverbs, they modify adjectives, okay? For example, he blushed, sonrojó, he blushed, comma, his face was extremely red. You can just use his face. Yeah, that's face. That doesn't look like face, but let's fix it. His face was extremely red, okay? So we have extremely and then our adjective red, right? So he was extremely tall. The building was incredibly big, etc., right? That's when we use it in the middle of the sentence, and we use degrees, okay? Now, we said that we use these to modify adjectives, okay? But what happens if you want to modify a verb, well, if you want to modify a verb, usually we use these ones over here, right? A lot, a little, or a bit. For example, he walked a lot during the break, you know? Or he talked. I can put that. That makes more sense. He talked a lot during the break. Okay, so but if you notice something important about this is that if you use it to describe a verb, it has to be after the verb. Yeah, if you're using it to describe an adjective, that's why we have this right here. If we're using to describe, it goes before, right? The adverb goes before. She's a little shy, little, right? So this is the trick about these ones right here, that depending on where you use an adjective, a verb, we use it in front or behind, right? He talked a lot during the break, or she's a little shy. Shy is an adjective, like talkative, quiet, etc., right? Now, if you notice, you can also use these to describe another adverb, okay? But we'll focus on this one, okay? So that's basically it. We can use this adverbs of degree in the middle of a sentence, depending on what you are using. If you're describing an adjective, or you're describing a verb, it goes in the beginning or at the end of a sentence, okay? And just to remember, these only modify adjectives, okay? Extremely, very, incredibly, amazingly, only adjectives, where this can describe both 1 and 2. Okay, a lot, a little, a bit. All right, adverbs of manner in the middle of the sentence. When we say manner, we say slowly, clearly, suddenly. What else? Truly. Okay, and 2 more. So what happens when we use them? Well, we use them normally. Okay, we use these to describe verbs. We put them before the verb. He slowly walked into the house. Oh yeah. Okay. We cannot put them between a verb and its object. Meaning we cannot put a slowly walked into, or we can't say he walked he walked slowly into the house. Unwritten language. In spoken language, you can say it and people will understand it, but for the book, manners, adverbs of manner go before your main verb. What do we mean by manner? Slowly, clearly, suddenly, truly, carefully, slowly, etc. Okay? And you know this already. It's just reminding you. So, frequency. When we say frequency, we say never, sometimes, always, every day, right? All those things. They go before the main verb, right? Before the main verb. In this case, this is our main verb, do, right? This is our subject, and they go before. Right? I always do my homework. I never do my homework. I sometimes do my homework, except when you have that beautiful verb to be. When you have the beautiful verb to be is after. Okay. All right. Also, adverbs of frequency go after an auxiliary verb. So if you have 2 verbs, for example, I have never. Like I have never finished my homework. Never is your adverb of frequency, and it goes after the auxiliary verb, the second verb. Right? Very good. And end of the sentence. We use adverbs of manner. For example, slowly, clearly, that's not clearly. So let's clear it again. Clearly. And carefully. He jumped on the trampoline carefully. We can use these at the end of the sentence, right, to describe how he did the sentence, the whole thing, right? She left the room suddenly. He spoke very clearly, etc. Yeah. Now you can also use an adverb of manner after an adverb of degree. Okay, so this is your adverb of degree, and this is of manner. And you can say, for example, my handwriting is horrible on this thing. It's hard. You are not talking very clearly. All right, so we have very and clearly. Okay, and you can use this both at the end of the sentence. Okay, all right, gentlemen, answer the questions. Thank you, and goodbye.